First, I'd like to start with this. I'd like to point to a clip that occurred on the Bill Maher show. Real Time with Bill Maher had a special guest, Steve Bannon, chief strategist of Donald Trump. Well, he was chief strategist of Donald Trump. You know, he says he quit. Trump said he fired him. I don't know what happened there. Now, during this conversation, and I can't play the whole clip for you, and there's several key points in this clip, so I want to encourage you to go to the website, go to YouTube, and you'll be able to find the Real Time with Bill Maher episode. Here's the thing. Bill Maher asked Steve Bannon, who is the person that conservatives are looking at on the, you know, as they look at the left and they see who's emerging, who could be trouble for Donald Trump? Who is that person, or are there persons that are on the radar that need to be thwarted now? And Steve Bannon had a response to that question.
I want to pick your brain on the Democrats.
Okay.
Because you, of all people, I want the answer to this. Who scares you? Who do you think could do good? How do you handicap the people? What do you think about Elizabeth Warren? What do you think about Bernie Sanders? What do you think about Kamala Harris? What do you think about Gavin Newsom? What do you... Okay, I know you like them all. Eric Holder. What do you think about all these people? And then I say Michael Avenatti. I saw that tweet he wrote the other day, and I said, he could be the Trump of 2020, the guy who's the outsider who like blows through the regular politician because he looks different and he's got balls.
If Bernie Sanders had an ounce of Avenatti's fearlessness, he would have been the Democratic nominee, and we would have had a much tougher time.
Bernie doesn't have fearlessness?
Not like Avenatti. Avenatti, and I've not done any due diligence on this guy.
Right.
But I'm telling you, he's got a fearlessness.
Right.
And he's a fighter. He's a fighter.
Right.
I think he'll go through a lot of this field if he decides to stick with it, like a sift through grass. Now, I don't happen to think a professional politician, because I think we're in a new age, I don't think a professional politician is going to be there at the end of the day. I've always said it's going to be someone like Oprah or an Avenatti or somebody that's more media savvy is going to be there. But I think one thing people
think that's good?
I think it's just a reality of today. I think you need to know how to handle mass communication.
Be a star first.
If I can say one thing, I do think this campaign after November 6th, which is really Trump's first reelect, if we lose the House, he's going to get impeached. This is a referendum on him. If we get past that,
Wow. I found this very interesting, right? I don't know about you guys, but I think Steve Bannon is as forthcoming as we can expect him to be, and I think he's being honest here. And if, you know, that's the thing with Steve Bannon, he is a strategist, right? So Steve Bannon will be the first one to tell you some things he says because they're true, and some things he said because he wants them to be true. Get what I'm saying? That makes sense to you? Some things he wants to say because he wants them to be true. He wants them to be acted on. This is what a propagandist does. And then some things he says because they're true. All right? So keep that in mind. But I found it very interesting what Steve Bannon said when he said that if Bernie Sanders had the guts, this would have been a totally different situation. That they would have had a much harder time beating Bernie Sanders than they would Donald Trump. Now, do you think Steve Bannon says that because, well, damn it, I just screwed that up. How did I get that wrong? Okay, Steve Bannon says that if Bernie Sanders had more guts, it would have had a harder time for Trump to defeat him than he did Hillary Clinton. That's my point. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. Now, do you think that Steve Bannon said that because he actually believes it, or you think he's saying it because he wants us to think that? I think he actually believes that. I think he actually believes that Bernie Sanders would have had a tougher fight. He would have been a better opponent, a harder opponent than Hillary Clinton. I happen to believe it. I've happened to have been saying it for 3 years. But, you know, for some people, they just wouldn't get it, that this was a referendum on politics as usual. And all Hillary was promising was politics as usual. So anyway, point that Steve Bannon makes that I believe is accurate and that is true. Number two, he said, no professional politicians. So he thinks that Michael Avenatti, as you know, Michael Avenatti is the lawyer from Stormy Daniels. He's been on every talk show he could be on. He's been on every news show he could be on several times over. Not only did he defend Stormy Daniels going after Trump and Michael Cohen, he also is the lawyer who's now making waves because he's defending one of the accusers of Brett Kavanaugh. Michael Avenatti, or Michael Avenatti, how you pronounce it, he's going to be here for a while. And Steve Bannon says that this guy would be a good candidate for the Democrats to run because he's charismatic and he has guts and he's willing to say things that piss people off and he's willing to go into the lion's den. So these are all good characteristics. But this is what I think. I believe one of the reasons why Steve Bannon feels this way is because of all the free publicity that Michael Avenatti's been given. He has a Trump-like quality to say, I want the camera. I want to get in front of the camera as much as possible. And I'll just say stuff. And I'll be volatile. And they'll keep bringing me back. And also the willingness of liberal media to continue to bring on Michael Avenatti. I get his point, but I think part of it's true that Michael Avenatti has the what you call the chutzpah to go out there and to say things that piss off Republicans or conservatives and also some of the left. But I also believe it's Bannon playing politics, saying, hey, this would be a good guy for us to defeat. Trump's base would come out like extra invigorated for the lawyer that tried to prosecute Michael Cohen actually runs for the Democratic nomination if he ever. I mean, I can't imagine Avenatti getting out of the primaries, but it would be crazy, wouldn't it? Let me take a look over here at the chat room and see what my people there are saying. Kurt Fleur 2 says Avenatti is a two-time hustler, a two-time hustler. He's trolling on that Avenatti. He's trolling. Right, that's what I think. Kids say Randolph and Joe Amal. Womo, Shindero. I'm just going to call you Jay, brother. What's up, Jay? I agree with you, Jay. I think Steve Bannon is trolling, but you hear Bill Maher? He's like, yeah. I think Bill Maher brought him up first, didn't he? Yeah, who would canvass for Avenatti? There will be a lot of middle-of-the-road Democrats who find him edgy. No one has any idea what policies at all this guy would support, but they don't care. They just like, there are people who don't care about policy. They care about personality. Paul says that nobody on the Maher show or Maher himself could ever be taken seriously. Give it up for that. All right, Paul.